Hi, everyone. My name is Meredith, and I would like to welcome you to the Keep It Pro training call brought to you by Networking Wisdom each and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific for the past 7 years. This call is geared for the entrepreneur inside of you, the part of you that wants to grow and succeed. Here, you will not only learn business skills, but also life skills that will take you to the next level. These calls will help you find the true power you have inside of you and show you how strong faith in God can change the course of your life. I have the honor and privilege to introduce the creator and host of this call, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Some of you may have heard of him and of his many accolades in the world of network marketing. But for those of you who have never heard him speak, you are in for quite the experience. Romacio is an extremely successful international entrepreneur, as well as a sought-after leader, trainer, coach, and mentor. Romacio not only teaches others, but he himself applies what he teaches through his intense focus and dedication, which has allowed him to achieve unprecedented success. In the 7 years I've known Romacio, I've seen him build a team of over 750,000 people. I've seen him do over $2 billion in sales. I've seen him break records in network marketing, become one of the world's top MLM income earners, and help thousands of people all over the world make life-changing income. Although Romacio loves the network marketing industry, over the last several years, he has shifted gears and entered the commodities and finance world. This change was not by choice, but rather he was guided by God to take this new uncharted path. Using his strong faith and work ethic, he has excelled at this industry as well, opening up doors of expansion that he would never have known existed if he had not followed God's instructions. Having said that, his true love is still to share his experiences and knowledge to help others achieve their goals. He is here today to do what he does best, lay out success principles and strategies in a way that is simple and easy to understand. His goal is to bless people with the knowledge he's accumulated through his own life experiences and to be an example for everyone of how consistent faith can bring great success. Over the last 3 years I've worked with him, I have seen miracles occur right in front of us because of his strong growing faith. He has been an incredible example for me through the years, and I'm honored to get to work with him day in and day out. Romacio is here on this call to serve you, to teach you, to enlighten you. I recommend that you grab a pen and paper and get ready for what he has in store for you today. Whether this call enlightens you or provides confirmation of what you already know, you're going to want to take notes. Without further ado, let me get out of the way and introduce your millionaire mentor, marketplace minister, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Meredith. Thank you for stepping up and being the host. I want to welcome everyone back again for another edition of the Sunday Keep It Pro training call. Listen, I want to first of all say thank you to this week. I received many different messages in terms of different people have sent me for what you've been learning, and I definitely want to let you know I love you dearly, and I'm glad to see that we all are growing as we're on this journey together. So listen, I want to come right in today on today's message. I'm pretty fired up to get to it, but I also want to let those of you that may be new that are here today, want to let you know that yes, we've been doing this call for over 7 years plus now, every Sunday, same time, same line. And basically there's two specific things that we teach on. Number one, we teach on the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the very top of whatever business or job that you may be promoting. I want to underscore the word specific skills. We do teach that. This is not just a general call per se. We do teach the specific skills relative to you, what you need to get yourself to the top. Okay. The second thing that we also teach is we teach life skills as well. And the reason why we teach both specific and also life skills, they go hand in hand, ladies and gentlemen. They go hand in hand. You need specific skills to make it to the top, and you certainly are going to need to sharpen your life skills as well. This week, guys, we're focusing on life skills. Today, I'm going to be talking about the little things. We're going to really dial up this topic, the little things. We want to really point this out. But before we get started into it, let me set the framework. Once again, if you're with us brand new, we want you to know that 2023 is the year of right now. It is the year of right now. For whatever reason, God gave me this word at the beginning of the year, told me that this is the year of right now. In other words, no more delay. No more delay. It's the year of right now. Now, listen, I want to say that 3 more times. I'm saying it intentionally. I'm not saying it by mistake. I'm saying it intentionally. This is the year of right now. Now, wherever you are, maybe you're in China and you're hearing me today on the recording, or maybe you're with us live by stream. Maybe you are listening to me live. Maybe you're in Africa. Maybe you're in Sacramento. Maybe you're in Hawaii. Maybe you're in Oakland. Maybe wherever you are domestically or internationally, I repeat loud and clear, 2023 is the year of right now. Now, as you hear that, I don't want you to be impressed. Rather, I want to leave an impression on you. What does that mean relative to you? Listen, look, every single one of us that are listening to me, we all are God's child. Every single one of us. God loves us all. That's a fact. Number one. Fact number two, there's no sin that you could do or mistake that you could make that can separate God's love for you. That is a fact. Okay? Fact number three, it is God's grace and his mercy that keeps us standing. It's his grace and his mercy that allows us to qualify for blessings and so forth. It's not because you're so good at what you do. I know that that's what the world wants you to believe, because you're such a good doer that's why you have X, Y, and Z. No, God did not. That's not how God set it up. That's a fact. Fact number four, you will never be perfect. Me, you, we will never be perfect. We will always be a work in progress. Fact number five, we are literally, our flesh gets weak. We are made with spirit, we have a soul, and we have a body. And as it relates to our flesh gets weak. These are facts I'm giving you. And I can go on and on and on about all the facts, but here's the bottom line to all of these facts. When you hear the word that this is the year of right now, all I can tell you is that you need to ask God to give you a revelation of how does this word, that this is the year of right now, relate to you. For some of you, right now could mean it's time for you to start becoming your own cook and start learning how to cook for yourself. For some of you, right now could mean this is the year right now where you need to learn how to become a good steward over your money. Right now could be for some of you, you need to start paying your tithes. Right now, for those of you, could mean this is the time that you're gonna get pregnant. Literally, you're going to get pregnant. I don't know what it means for you. Right now, the miracle that you've been praying on and been hoping for, it's literally happening. But I do know this is the year of right now. 2023 is the year of right now. So first homework assignment to all that are listening, ask God to give you a revelation of how does the words right now apply to you. Ask God for that revelation, okay? Number one. Now, in today's topic, we're talking about the little things. We told you that if you've been following us every week, guys, I want to encourage you to please go back and re-listen to the calls. They are so timely. These calls that we're doing are timely. This is the year of right now, okay? So these calls, this message, this conversation that we're having, it's timely. In fact, the one that we're getting ready to talk about right now. Short phone call, but powerful today. The message today is the little things. And I want to do my very best, guys, to really amplify how important the little things are to God. You know, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. We, as God's children, we are always looking for it. We are looking for the manifestation of it, whatever it represents, your promotion, your relationship, your wholeness, your healing. We're always waiting and looking forward to the miracles and the blessings. And God, he's in the blessing business for sure. He's in the miracle making business for sure. So it's definitely going to happen. But I want to listen, please write this down. This is for all of us, myself included. I want to highlight what God cares most about. Does God care about your miracle? Absolutely, but he already knows it's a done deal. So he's not surprised by it. What God cares most about is our character. is our character. So today, when we talk about the little things, that's what we're going to be highlighting on, our character as it relates to the little things. And I'm going to do my very best to keep this broad. I'm going to paint broad strokes here today, but I promise you it will be right on. But I want you to kind of get the idea, get the concept of what we're talking about. We're talking about the little things. I'm reminded by my late grandfather. He used to always tell us, and this is a perfect theme as we dive into this topic, the little things. He would always say, grandson, your job is to do your best and let God do the rest. It's more than just a cliche. He said, grandson, your job is to do your best and let God do the rest. So when we talk about it's our job to do our best, I want to start with one particular word, and that is habits. I don't want to be impressive to you today on this call. It's not what my intention is. My intention today is to lay before you something very small, but it's very profound, that we make sure that we're constantly monitoring the little things. Please write that down. Number two, it's important for me to let everybody know why habits are so important. When we establish good habits, now all of a sudden our life becomes on autopilot. You don't have to, it doesn't require so much effort to do the right thing or to stay consistent in the thing that you do. Let me confess and tell you, for those of you that are climbing the ladder of success, monetary success, money, let me be crystal clear with you that successful people have become very good at doing boring things. One more time. Successful people have become very good at doing boring things. It means they do the same things over and over and over and over again, and they do them irrespective of how they feel. Meaning, whether they feel like it or not, they still do it. I'm trying to underscore the word habits. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so important because look, if you don't want to be thrown and tossed around like the wind, to and fro, and you want to have some consistency, it's going to come down to what are your habits? What are your habits? It's a very simple but profound message today. I'm sure all of you have heard before that the secret to success is hidden inside of your daily routine. You show me a man or a woman that is successful, and I will show you the routine that has guided them towards their success. Likewise, you show me a man or woman that's not successful, and I will show you a routine that they have repetitively repeated. I'll show you a bad routine that they've constantly done. So what is the message? Whether good or bad, your habits is what makes you who you are. Your habits. Your habits. One thing that I can share with all of you that are listening, God really, really respects time. God really respects time. The God that we serve, ladies and gentlemen, he's a jealous God. He really, really values time. And even though God stands outside of time, it's when we use time and we take time serious. We in other words, We honor time. When we do that, we're sending a message to God of what we value, of what's important to us, because it's something that we do or don't do all the time. And let me explain to you why God honors that. Because God honors that because of the God that we serve. He's a very just God. He's very consistent. His word is the same yesterday as it is today, and as it will be forevermore. His word doesn't change. In other words, God respects consistency. He respects habits. And so what I want to really ask all of us is, do we have winning habits? Let's break it down. I'm reminded of my grandmother and my grandfather. I love saying this. Commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. Commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. You know, one of the things that I love all people, but I really love to study people that are internally strong. And I'm going to be honest with you. By my definition, I will never perceive you as strong unless you've been through a fight, unless you've been through a struggle, a trial, a tribulation. And for me, I love to learn from strong people, both men and women. And what I love to study about them is while they were going through the storm of frustration, of whatever it was that they were dealing with, whether it was a spiritual challenge, a health challenge, a money challenge, a relationship challenge, whatever it was that they were going through, what I love to learn or glean from strong people is, what habits did they maintain while they still were going through the struggle or going through the storm? What habits did they still maintain? And the reason why I like that is because what this teaches us is that the storms of life, whatever you're going through, whatever you call a storm, it will eventually pass. Scripture tells us, Scripture reminds us of this, that the storm will never, ever, ever, ever last forever. It won't. It will pass. It has to pass. But what we look for, guys, is what did you learn while going through the storms? And this is where, if you have good habits, your habits will strengthen your character. Your habits will strengthen your character. And this is why today we want to really, really zoom in and focus on the little things. I know you're waiting on the big thing, whatever the big thing is relative to you. But let me share with you how God has been dealing with me as it relates to the little things. Guys, I'm in the process of manifesting a very large miracle, and I'm very excited about it, and it's come with a dear price, and it is happening. It truly is happening. And the one thing that God continues to show me is how important it is for me to stay close to Him. The one revelation that, it comes to me over and over and over and over and over again in a multitude of ways, is that you cannot turn to man or woman and expect miraculous things to happen. You have to turn to God, who is the author and the finisher of my faith. He's the beginning and the end. He's the Alpha and he's the Omega, right? So what God has revealed to me, ladies and gentlemen, is how important it is for me not to be perfect, for God knows I'll never be perfect, but for me to stay close, to stay close. And I believe all of you listening understands what the word means when I say stay close. When you are going to stay close to someone, in this case, God, how much reading are you doing? How much prayer time are you doing? And again, it's not about are you doing 5 minutes versus 50 minutes. That doesn't impress God. Whether you're doing 3 hours versus 20 hours. No, no, no. It's the consistency of the little thing that you're constantly in communion. You're in conversation with God. And if you're always talking, then you're not able to hear God talk back to you. Because God does speak in a multitude of ways. But you, my friend, have to make it important. It's a little thing because you have free will. You have to make it important to spend time with him. Getting to know him, getting to know his ways, getting to know his language, getting to know his precepts, getting to know his intentions of what he has for you as it relates to your job, business, relationship, parenting, as it relates what he has in store for you. You know, the Bible tells us the only reason why you don't have is because you don't ask. The reason why you don't know is because you don't seek. For scripture tells us, seek and you will find. Ask and it will be given to you. Knock and the door shall be open. And so what I'm saying here today, as it relates to the little things, number one, my question to you, do you have a good habit of spending time in prayer, spending time with God? If you don't, I am not here to condemn you. Look at me today as an alarm clock. I'm just reminding you to do what you've already intended to do. We're in the month of March. We're coming up, we're approaching the first quarter of the end of the first quarter of the new year. And all I'm saying to you is, listen, remember what Grandpa told me? Do your best and let God do the rest. See, God will do the miracle, but he needs you to do your best. Because why? Why does God need this? Because you're in partnership with him. And today I'm just reminding you about the little things. And we're starting with the spiritual side first. That's all. For you to get wiser, for you to become more enlightened, it's not going to be because, you were sitting at some bar and all of a sudden, no. Look, I've got nothing against bars. What I'm saying, though, you got to spend some time. Consistently. In fact, the scripture tells us to meditate on his word day and night. It says, do not let this word depart from you. Because God knows the more we meditate on his word, his ways, his language, the better off we'll be. But anyway, listen, my question to you is very simple, but it's very important. I'd like for you to just grab a pen and paper. The question is, do you have a good spiritual habit? Notice I did not say, do you have a good religious habit? I don't care about religion. Do you have a good spiritual habit? And the reason why we always start with spiritual first, guys, is everything in the natural comes from the spirit world first. Everything in the natural comes from the spirit realm first. That's number one. All right? Number two, as we talk about the little things as it relates to habits. Number two, the Bible talks about how our body is our temple. So let's talk about health. Now, again, I'm nobody's judge. I'm not trying to condemn anyone. Health is something that I'm constantly working on myself. But I'm asking you, What is your, or do you have a health habit as it relates to your nutrition of what you decide to eat, whatever that is for you, and as it is for your, for you working out? Do you have a health regimen or a health habit? And I want to add one in here, guys. When we talk about habits, about health, yes, I'm talking about what you choose to eat. Yes, I am talking about you moving your body, so some type of calisthenic, if you're able to do so on a consistent basis. But you know what I have found to be healthy? Man, getting rid of all the crazy people in your life. A healthy habit that I have, guys, I don't have no people around me. I don't let people get close to me that are just toxic. I just don't. And I'm very proud to share that with all of you guys. It's a habit of mine. I don't surround myself with fools and a bunch of craziness. Now, I'm not saying my life is perfect, guys, but what I am saying, it is an intention of mine. I don't allow a lot of foolery to get close to me, whether it's man or woman, and watch this, whether it's a friend or a family member. It don't matter. So when we talk about health, I'm including making sure that the people that you're spending time with that have a level of influence over you also need to be healthy people, healthy conversation, healthy perspectives, healthy. You follow me? So, number two, do you have good health habits? Very important. Number three, let's talk about work. I love that the Bible makes it very clear that there's no man or woman that can ever be successful if they don't put their hand to the plow. And what that simply means is work. You got to work. We've heard some people say that work is the rent that we pay for the space that we occupy on earth. My point is let's discuss your work habits. Are you pleased with your work habit? In other words, if you work a job or if you work a business or if you work both, are you pleased with your contribution, your habits as it relates to sharpening your axe relating to the job or purpose that you are intended to do? Are you happy with your work habits? Work does work. Are you happy with your work habits? This is very, very important. For those of you that are running a business at this moment in time, I want to encourage you to don't feel ashamed about working so hard. Don't allow guilt to come on you about working so hard. For I know what it's like to be a business owner. You are working really hard, not just for a new Mercedes Benz, not just for your family, but you're also working very hard, specifically if you're carrying other families, people that you're employing, people that work for you. You're working very hard to be the best that you can be for many reasons. And there's a sacrifice that is commensurate with based upon what it is you're trying to accomplish. So your habits of work are very, very important. Let's go to number 4. Let's talk about your habit of recreation. Again, I'm not here to judge anyone. I do believe you have one life to live and you should have some fun. And for fun is relative to all of us. Each of us value fun differently. But I do believe you should have some fun. You should have fun as a part of your daily routine. It should be a part of your habit. It's a little thing to make sure that you are smiling, having a good time, keeping joy in your heart, laughing. These are all great, very, very important things. These little things do matter. And then I'm going to end with number 5. Number 5 is about giving or serving/giving. We understand you got a spiritual habit. Congratulations. We understand that you have a good health habit. Congratulations. We understand that you have a good work habit. Number 4, we understand that you have a good, having fun as a habit. But we also have to include in there serving or giving. I really believe that when you want to see miraculous things take place in your life, we've got to do our very best to try and walk in the same image that Christ walks in. And we know that he was the biggest giver of all givers. For Scripture tells us that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son to demonstrate his love for you and I. So it tells us, it really, really shows us crystal clear that love is about, one of the attributes about love is it's about giving. It is about giving. And so you're always going to hear me champion the concept of giving. And again, listen, you can never outgive the giver. Whether it's a smile, whether it's clothes, whether it's a dollar bill, whether it's money, doesn't matter. Whether it's a compliment, you can never give too much. But I am sharing with you, it is important to make serving/giving one of the little habits that make you who you are. And the reason why I suggest this to all of us is because this strengthens your character. When I say it strengthens your character, what that means, guys, is it shows you a much bigger life than just your life. When you know that, you have a good, spiritual habit. You do work hard. You do have fun, you do have a good health habit. But to see all of that and you still choose to decide to give. And the reason why that's so important is because making a contribution by service and giving, it strengthens your spirit. It refines your soul. So I want to ask you, do you have a very strong habit of serving/giving? And I'm not going to specifically tell you what or whom to serve. That's up for you to decide. But do you have that as a habit? I believe that when you look at these 5 things that we today that we talked about, and of course you want to include in there family. Family is very important. But when you look at these 5 things, guys, and you listen to the words of my late grandfather, do your best and then let God do the rest. I want to talk about God now. You see, the God that we serve, ladies and gentlemen, he is a gap-filling God. Write that down. You need to know that. Write that down. I'm going to say it again. God is a gap filler. God fills in the gaps. He fills in the missing pieces. I love when people say, well, how did that happen? That was nobody but God. Where man stops is where God starts. Again, Grandpa said, son, do your best and let God do the rest. God is a gap filler. We see this time and time again when we look at the miracles in the Bible. We look at how Jesus turned water into wine. He filled the gap. We look at how Jesus took a loaf of bread and fed 5,000. He filled the gap. We look at Jesus with the woman with the issue of blood. He filled the gap. We look at Jesus and the healing of the raising of Lazarus. He filled the gap. We can go on and on and on and on and on and on. And what are we saying? What we know and what we've learned, write it down. God is a gap filler. He fills in the gap. Man does the possible and God does the impossible, which is called the miracle. We see it time and 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 time again. But today, what I want to really impress upon all of us is the importance for our habits. I believe it's our habits that really attract God's attention. Notice I said that's just my personal opinion. Our habits, it's what our habit of being persistent, our habit of being relentless, our habit of being obedient, our habit of giving him praise and worship, our habits of our prayer life. And again, all of these are things that I'm constantly growing and getting better and better at. My goal is to be progressive, never to be perfect, but to only be progressive, right? And so I believe that our habits are part of what gains God's attention. Because it was God that created rhythm. And when we can align ourselves with the rhythm that he's created, that is when we can gain his attention more and more and more and more and more. And I want to impress upon each of you that are listening, God cares so much about the little things. He really, really does. Let me give you some illustrations. He cares about what you do when nobody's looking. Builds character. He cares about, you said you were going to do X, Y, and Z, and you were going to, for example, in my case, I told him that I would always pay tithes for the rest of my life. That is a commitment that I said. That's a commitment that I made to God. And so the moment you get some more money, what do you do with it? Do you remember what you told God? The little things, right? He cares. Now, he knows we all make mistakes, but he cares about the little things. He cares about you preparing for that presentation that you have to do. He cares about you studying, you being consistent, you trying to get the appropriate rest that you know that your body needs so that you can function at your best. He cares about the little things. It's amazing to me, and again, this is my understanding. It's amazing to me how it's not that God does not care about your grand success. He does. But he knows that your grand success in any area, listen to me well, guys. He knows that your grand success, it stands on your habits, your foundation. Your success, your grand success, it stands upon the foundation of your character. And that's why God puts so much emphasis on character. So much so that when we study the life of Christ and we study the life of Jesus, and we were able to watch him for a short period of time, and we were able to watch him on how he handled every situation, how he responded to every situation. And the reason why we had that as an illustration way back when was because he wanted us to have a physical example that we could measure ourselves against, no matter what the situation was, on how we should respond. And the reason for that is we were able to see Jesus display basically perfect character in all situations. Now, we'll never be perfect, but we do have a perfect image to follow, a perfect leader to look up to. And it's super important that it's when we look at the life of Christ and we study him and we measure ourselves against, what we will find, ladies and gentlemen, is character. How important character is. And so if today on this call, you're listening and you're saying, wow, this is a confirmation because I do have great habits, then I want you to look in the mirror and salute yourself. Keep going, young man. Keep going, young woman. But also today on this call, if you're someone that says, hey, you know what, I'm pretty good in that area, but I need to be better in this area. I want you to look in the mirror and say to yourself, great job, salute yourself, and keep going, young man. Keep going, young woman. Keep going. This call is not to condemn you in any way, shape, or form, but rather this call is to remind you that it's the little things that are the most important to God. It's the little things. And we know this because God is the one who fills in all those little gaps. He's a gap filler. Again, I started and I'll end with what my grandfather told me. He said, your job is just to do your best and let God do the rest. And that is the arrangement of the partnership, in essence, that we have with God, to strive to do our best. And the way that we can do that, by simplifying it, is through our habits. Our habits now, what they do is they pretty much, have you ever heard somebody say, your name precedes you? What that simply means is that when you say a person's name, that name gives you it gives you a feeling or a perception of that person because you've heard about them and you've heard them long before you even see them. So that means your name goes before you. And the reason and why that's so relative right now, your name is a reflection of your choices. And your choices are a reflection of your habits. One more time. Your name is a reflection of your choices. And your choices are a reflection of your habits. And that's the reason why it's so important for us to establish good habits, because it's when you establish these habits over and over and over and over, and they're just like a part of you, it becomes, that's who you are. That's what you do. In the eyes of other men and women, it's predictable. They know what you're going to do. They know what you where you stand on the matter. They know you because they've seen your habits displayed over and over and over and over again. Guys, I want you to take this call. I know it's simple. I know some of you say, oh, I heard this, I've heard that. But see, yes, it's simple. I know it's simple. I know that these are very common principles. But is it something that you're doing? Is it something that you put a lot of weight on? Because if you don't put a lot of weight on it, I truly believe that you should. Because your habits go before you. Write it down. My habits go before me. My habits speak for me. And again, I'm not here to try and make any of us perfect. I just want to I want to help make all of us progressive. Hey, listen, guys, I'm the California kid. I'd like for you to end this call, and I want you to ask God. I want you to spend a few minutes with God right now and say, Lord, what is it the words right now. We told you 2023 is the year of right now. What is it? How does those two words right now apply to me? Just ask God. Just all you got to do is ask him. Give me a revelation of how the two words right now are for me. How does the words right now apply to me in my life right now? Ask the Holy Spirit, ask God to come in right now and just give you a revelation of how those two words right now, what they mean to you. What is it that you're supposed to do right now? Because I'm telling you, one thing I know for sure is that the year of 2023 is the year of right now. Hey, guys, I love each and every single one of you. I'm the California Kid, and we will see you guys all next week. Thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye for now.